So many chances we parted cats and we damage ya. The classes on a contract, we terrorize only amateurs. This is the path of the pathological gassy rapper taken from the. Good morning, guys. My name is Gora Ibrahim, and I'm in the company of a very, very special person this morning. I'd like to introduce Kevin Nagawa to us. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
So before I start asking Kevin any questions, firstly, let me tell you about Kevin. Kevin is a football agent that is based in Brussels. Kevin is of Mauritian descent, and he spent many, many years on the other side of the world. Kevin was also a great footballer at a certain time in his life, playing for the Mauritian national teams in the different age groups, and at some point realized that he wanted to do something else with his life. So Kevin's on a journey. He flew in last night. He's flying out tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, Kevin does a big disservice to the mother city because we need at least a couple of months to appreciate the mother city. Kevin, we're going to hope to have you back here again. But Shusha, welcome, Kevin.
Thank you.
So, your first impressions of this beautiful city?
Oh, amazing, amazing. I think we were just talking offline before. I've seen a few pictures of Table Mountain, of the waterfront, but being here is just mind blowing. The kindness of people really surprised me as well. How everyone is very smiling and very willing to help. The warmth of all the people I've met. And it really gives me an incentive to come again for the 2 months, maybe more. That's it.
That's fantastic. Have you had a chance to see, now that we're speaking football, have you had a chance to see our football stadium, the World Cup stadium? Did you manage to get a glimpse of it?
No, I have not. I have not yet. I managed to see the rugby stadium, the DHL stadium. Is that the?
Yes, we speak basically.
Okay, so yes. So then yesterday I went for the game against Western Province against the Bulls because I knew the game was on, and since I'm a sports fan first of all, so I checked online, tickets were available, I got myself a ticket and I watched. Unfortunately, Western Province lost against the Bulls, but it was absolutely beautiful. The DHL stadium is absolutely beautiful.
So that's unusual for a Mauritian to have such a connection to rugby.
Yes.
And we liked it because rugby is huge.
Oh, okay.
Rugby is huge. Did you enjoy the atmosphere?
Oh yes. Yeah, I absolutely enjoyed the atmosphere. It was not a full stadium yesterday. I think we were probably about 7,000 or 8,000 crowds. But the sounds, the roar when the whole team was scoring a try, it was really, really amazing. And I actually, even being from Mauritius, we are not very good in rugby. As a matter of fact, we don't really play rugby. But I've been watching the Five Nations Cup ever since I was a kid, which now obviously became the Six Nations with Italy joining. And I watch the Rugby World Cup every now and then. So I'm really a big sports fan in general. So
you love your sport.
I love it.
So that's fantastic. So we're just gonna go sideways a little. There we have South Africa. We fairly talented rugby nation. World Cup champions. We do very well in cricket as well. We are the champions of the 5-day, World Cup champions in the 5-day format of the game. We also love our football, right? And we do really well in football, but we can't really compare with the big countries. What's your impression of the local game? What do you know about the local game? First impressions of what you've seen?
Well, first of all, of course, we've seen the Sundowns in the World Cup recently, and I have a rather distant look at the African clubs and the African club competitions. I'm based in Europe, so what's being thrown at my face is more the Champions League, the Europa League, of course, the European clubs. But because I come from Mauritius, I used to play for a club, it's a reserve team, but I used to play for a club that used to play in the African Cups as well. So I still have a look every now and then. And yeah, I see the Sundowns reaching regularly the semis. Stellenbosch reaching the final of the Confederation Cup. I think it was in 2020. Well, the last season, I think it was. And so I think South African football is one of the most structured and professional in terms of the organization of the football. Perhaps South Africa has a few raw talents, fewer than Ghana or Nigeria, but in terms of how the talents are brought up, are scouted, are formed, the academies that, for example, Stellenbosch Academy, the way that they are brought up, it's absolutely amazing. You see, South Africa won the U20 AFCON recently. This is always a very, very good sign when your youth teams starting to win continental competition, be doing well in World Cups. So yesterday I was at Stellenbosch team. They were playing a friendly against Cape Town City. And we saw a few of the boys who are going to be in the next World Cup, whether it is under 17 in Qatar in November or in September at a higher age group. So I think South African football is on its way back to the early 2000s, where the summer.
We went through a golden age, I think, when we just got from when the money came into football, when we became fully professional. I think that was in the early 1990s, roundabout there. And of course, then we won the AFCON, when we produced the constant airheads of the world. Perhaps we're going in that direction too. But so I'm just going to go sideways very quickly. Kevin, you now here. Your Highness Jet said, whistle stopping trip through South Africa. What is it that you hope to achieve?
Yes. So again, I think I chose South Africa first. It's the first African country that I'm visiting because of the structure, because of the fact that South African teams do export football players regularly to the European leagues. Belgium, where I'm from, but Holland as well. Again, Stellenbosch just sold a young player to QPR, very recent half series, and on loan to an Israeli club as well a few months before. One of the boys from Cape Town is on the books of Chelsea Football Club with boy. So it's a very, very, very potent,
Exciting time.
absolutely, yes, and it's a very potent country which works both ways, I would say. So there is the potential for export of the best South African talents into Europe. But because of the professionalism and the structure of the South African league, it is an amazing opportunity for other African countries with lesser organized football, such as Lesotho, such as Madagascar, such as Mauritius, to be able to export their biggest talents on the South African scene.
Kevin, you're going to, because you're spending very little time in South Africa, you're going to be spending a lot of time in the major cities.
Yes.
You say you're going to go to Cape Town,
yes.
you're going to go to Johannesburg.
Yes.
Will you have a chance to go to Durban, for example, at this time?
Not this time. Not
this time. Perhaps on a different time when you come. The football is also very strong in the rural areas. And the rural areas are also producing, when I'm speaking of places like Bloemfontein and the surrounds, there's beds where they're producing the real rare champions that are coming. Those that have are just so talented, need to be polished. So perhaps on the next trip, we could drive up and look through the others. But for now, you say you're here today. Who have you met here in Cape Town?
Yes.
While you were here?
So my first point of contact is an ex-Mauritian legend who is Jean-Marc Ithier, and he used to be one of our spearheads, hero goal scorers in Mauritius. He used to play for our most successful club in Mauritius. Mauritius used to have amateur league in the 90s, but he was arguably the only club that functioned as a professional club. And they were winning a lot of trophies, and he was scoring a lot of goals, including for the national team. And in the early 2000s, he moved to the Santos club in Cape Town, where he enjoyed a 5-year, almost 6 seasons at top level, well in his 30s, which is, I think, very, very important to highlight. He was scoring 15, 18 goals a season, well in his 30s, and then he transitioned into coaching at Santos, and he had different functions, sometimes being caretaker manager, sometimes being assistant manager, and this gentleman is the person who is my anchor point here. And thanks to him, I'm meeting you.
Oh, yeah, it's a real pleasure. I must get you.
Thanks to him, we met with the management of Cape Town City yesterday and Stellenbosch club yesterday, who were playing a friendly game in Stellenbosch. And so we went out there and we watched the games. They were playing 4 45-minute half times, and a beautiful setting. And we went there and we had a chat with the head scout Brandon from Stellenbosch. We had a chat with the head coach as well from Cape Town City. So far in Cape Town, I have met those 2 clubs from the top tier.
So you've been to Stellenbosch?
Yes.
So you've been to one of the most beautiful places.
Oh my God.
It's in Cape Town.
It was super.
So that's not too bad. At least your trip is not. You just need to come to see all the other parts. Okay, so now Stellenbosch is a success story, but you probably also heard that we've had Cape Town City and Cape Town Spurs. Both of them have been relegated from football. So we hoping that Stellenbosch will keep the professional flag burning, burning a little longer. But now you make your way to Johannesburg, right? So who are you hoping to see in Johannesburg when you are there?
Yes.
Have you got people lined up that you're going to meet?
Yes, I have. I have a few fellow agents that I have already been in contact with in Belgium already, and while organizing my South African trip, I have lined up some meetings with them. Some of them work solo, some of them work in bigger agencies, and I'm going to meet with them. I'm hoping as well that I can meet the ex-technical director for Mauritius, who is South African. Absolutely. And who lives in South Africa, in Johannesburg. So I'm hoping I can meet him as well. And I spent 4 days here, but I will spend only 2 days in Johannesburg. So my agenda is almost already filled from breakfast to dinner meetings, and because afterwards I am flying out to Madagascar. So I only could spend 48 hours in Johannesburg.
When you leave us and you accomplish all your meetings, what would you hope to take with you when you leave South Africa? Is there some maybe an understanding that you have hoped to have set with the personalities that you are meeting locally?
Yes. Absolutely. So first of all, the most important thing is understanding the culture, understanding the football culture. The national culture is always, for me, that's a given. Apart from football, I travel as well for other reasons to other countries. I always want to understand the history of the country, of the cities, and the makeup of populations and which language, etc. This is a given. But now on this football trip, I also want to understand the football makeup of South African football, the different leagues, how they compare to each other. For example, I had not realized at the beginning that at some lower tiers, foreigners are not allowed to compete. So, this sharpens then my understanding and the kind of players that I would be able to propose to South African clubs. They have to be starters for the top tier because there is no real outlet. If you're a foreigner and you're not starting for your top tier club, there's not really an outlet to be playing in the lower tier. This is not unique to South Africa. This happens also in Europe for non-European nationalities. So all those things are important to understand. Then, next to this, is to understand the specifics of the academy, the training, the youth programs of the different clubs. At the moment, I have met only 2 clubs, Cape Town City and Stellenbosch. And then, of course, going out, having made some face-to-face contacts with some fellow agents, where it becomes easier then to collaborate virtually, because so far we had only talked on WhatsApp or through LinkedIn, but now we've met, we've exchanged ideas, and it is much easier to conduct business relations afterwards.
Kevin, there is locally in South Africa at the moment, Durban, Johannesburg, Cape Town, there's this growing trend of team organizing overseas trips, for aspiring youngsters. Obviously, these youngsters watch football and they dream of becoming a Messi or a Mbappe or something like that. So this trend is growing. And South Africa right now, especially someone a place like Cape Town, is teeming with talented players that may not be associated with the big clubs. That is not something that you would be looking at right now because they need to satisfy certain criteria. If you need to take them am I getting that right?
It depends. It depends actually, because of course you would have players who are already in structured training. Let us say under 13 already in a tier 1, tier 2 club in South Africa. So those are the obvious, you would talk to one scout or one recruiting head, and they would say, hey, I'm the head recruiter, I'm the head of football development in my club. Those are the 150 players I have. Out of those 3 are the ones whom I would bet have the best chance of turning professional. However, the same as Ajax Amsterdam or Bayern Munich organizes weekends of defection for just kids showing up and organize and they would like find the best talent and then offer them chances to play the Bayern Ajax Academy or slightly lower tier associated clubs. I would say it would be something very similar. So there could be youngsters who are not yet in structured clubs who would draw attention.
So can we say that the next time you come, you spend a bit more time, and then I take you to a few of the bigger clubs, to the association where these kids just play,
yes,
and then we just have a look
yes,
at something without even looking at anything, just cast your eye and see something like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's put that on the burner for the next time. I'm going let's just go back to Johannesburg. So Stellenbosch, as organized and structured as they are, it comes to they're not the biggest clubs in South Africa. Our big clubs in South Africa is obviously Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs in terms of support, in terms of following their culture, their history. Pirates being perhaps the oldest club in South Africa. Is it something that you'd like to do? Maybe meet up with the management of Pirates, or is that not on the agenda?
No, it is. It is. It's not yet penciled in, but indeed it is. And I have reached out to some of the management that's still waiting for a confirmation. But this is my intention. But at the moment, nothing is set in the agenda yet. But no, the exact same thing I did here with Cape Town City and Stellenbosch, I would like to replicate as well.
Yeah. With Chiefs and Pirates are our two biggest local clubs, the Soweto Giants. Someone, a team, for example, like one of those Sundowns, is now really put us on the map. I think they have a different structure as well, something that a lot of the clubs are hoping to emulate. Is it something that you might want to have a look at as well, speaking to the powers that be that are in Gauteng? No, they actually responded in Georgia.
Yes. Yeah. So indeed, at this time, I'm not going there, but
not this time.
Exactly. But absolutely, yes, absolutely. You know, the same. The top African clubs are absolutely on the agenda in terms of striking relationships with them, whether they would be here, Sundowns, and in other parts of Africa as well. So yes, absolutely. The answer is yes.
If there's a youngster that you spot right now, and you come to an agreement with maybe Stellenbosch, for example, which types of clubs would you hope to take them to on the other side of the world?
Okay. It would then depend, obviously, on the level we're talking about. But it can be any level from like Witboy Chelsea Football Club down to a good mid-table Belgian or Dutch team, or as well you've got competitions and championships like Azerbaijan, for example, who are really pushing. They're moving from 10 to 12 clubs this August. Following August 12 to 14, they're dropping the restriction on the number of foreigners from 6 to no limits. So we're potentially multiplying by 2.5 the number of foreigners that could play in Azerbaijan. And it's got the top 4 clubs are very professional. The salaries are very competitive, better than in some places in Eastern Europe. And I also have a lot of connections at the moment in the Middle East with Kuwait, with Saudi Arabia, with Qatar, pushing the Emirates as well, pushing to put their football more and more on the map.
Kevin, is it important that the age is obviously important as they start, but you may find someone that's doing quite well, 26, 27 years old. Is that too late? If he's doing really well at Sundowns, or is it too late for him?
Oh no, absolutely not. So like you say, age is important, and every age group has got their specificities. You will find 16 to 18-year-olds when they are still very moldable, extremely moldable. You can, if they are already in an academy environment here, they could move to an academy environment in Europe. Now, minors have got, and rightly so, a lot of protections around them. You're not allowed to do a lot of things. For example, in Belgium, you can sign a pro contract as from 16, but an agent is not allowed to receive any kind of commission until the player turns 18. There are some other restrictions for minors in different places. Traditionally, we say that you end your training in academies at the age of 19. That would be generally accepted as an age of fruition. However, you've got leagues like Germany who are experts in post-academy training, post-formative years, from 21 to 23. Amazing job. Dortmund, for example. And then you've got leagues such as India, who only look for players who are more than 25 years old. They want established players who already have a very good tactical understanding of where they need to be, how to cover, where they fit in a formation. And the biggest teams in the Indian Super League, for example, almost entirely, almost exclusively look for 25-year pluses. So you've got outlets for any age group. If the talent is there, there's no problem.
Wow. Let's just say, tell me a bit more about India.
Yes.
So we love cricket, right?
Yes.
Where else is cricket bigger than in India? India is just a cricket nation right now. We watch everything when it comes to cricket. A bit like what basketball or American football is to the American basketball. But football has always had the potential to be something in India.
Yes.
Just share with us a bit about football in India.
Yes.
Because not enough is known about it.
No, indeed, that's very true. So the Indian Super League, the top tier 1 football, is a quite well structured league, very professional, very good salaries as well, competitive salaries. I have a few fellow Belgian ex-professionals who have played in India. And India has got more of a state club system. So you could have Tamil Nadu having a club, Maharashtra having their big club. You would have Northeast United having their club. And many of those clubs are backed also financially by big conglomerates. The Tata Sports academies are there and really making a really big contribution to football in India. And it's a quite competitive league, 12 to 14 clubs in the top flight. And there is a restriction of 5 foreigners plus 1 Asian. So you could have up to 6 non-Indians, but one of them has to be an Asian. The 5 others can be the rest of the world. And some of my contacts who played in India, were saying, a Belgian guy, there was a French, there was a Uruguayan, there was a Polish in the team. The salaries are good, and the competition is quite good level. Very recently, in April or May, the English Premier League set up a physical office in Mumbai because they are also seeing how football is growing in popularity in India. And it's a country of 1.4 billion people. And if you have 2-3% of the population going fully into football, the potential is amazing.
In the good old days, maybe it still happens, that the white players locally had a dual passport. So let's take someone like Gary, who then played for Manchester United in the old days. His dad, Roy Bailey, was also a goalkeeper. Gary had a British passport, and so Gary qualified to play for Manchester United. For people like us, for example, we couldn't because we didn't have dual history. But my question would be for you, if an Indian South African has to now go to India, does he through by virtue of his descent, has he got any claim to say that I have some heritage here, I don't qualify as a foreigner, and I play that can't be the case.
Well, I would have to check the details, but there's something called the OCI that India has been issuing for the past maybe 15 years, perhaps I'm saying something wrong. But so the overseas citizens of India, I myself made the paperwork to clear it, and so long you can prove your ancestry and you satisfy all the conditions, you, as from the age of 18, you can claim your OCI passport. And the OCI passport, so I have never investigated this football thing. However, the OCI document allows you to vote in India, not in the top legislative elections, but you can vote at local level. You can own property in India, not agricultural land. You qualify for university tuition fees like the Indians would, for the medical fees like a citizen of India. So it could very well be that with this document you could qualify as an Indian quota rather than a foreign quota.
I just asked. I asked that because I'm going to go into a meeting just now, and I'd like to speak about this. Also with rugby, you look at in Scotland, Johan van der Merwe is now playing for Scotland. He's the British Lions second team, but a lot of players from other countries, by virtue of their grandparents having come from Scotland or Ireland, and then they become naturalized, and then they're able to represent them. But I just thought I find it very fascinating. But we're just moving away from India and South Africa right now. We don't know much about the countries around the Indian Ocean. There's the Seychelles, there's Madagascar, and football is quite strong there too.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us a little more of what you'd like to achieve, and I'm sure that you have that you'd like to do something for them, having for those countries you being originating from.
Absolutely, yes. I would absolutely love to advance football in the Indian Ocean and in Mauritius, in particular, the island that I am from. Now, football is the most popular sport in the world. So therefore, you would always go from the principle that football will be popular in any country you wouldn't know about. And it is the case, absolutely the case, in all the Indian Ocean islands. Football is the most popular sport in this region of the world. Mauritius has had a very competitive league in the 1980s and 90s. Jean-Marc Ithier is one of the best examples of that. Sebastian Max, who was his team.
Remember
exactly. And they were some of the best examples of this competitive level that we used to have in the 80s and 90s. Unfortunately for Mauritius, we went down due to what I would qualify as a lack of vision and a lack of consistency in our vision, where successive regimes have had different ideas and we've dispersed ourselves a little. Madagascar has been doing extremely well all the time, and very lately now has been doing very well when you see their position in the World Cup qualifiers. Comoros, absolutely amazing. They have eliminated. They had qualified for the latest AFCON. They got out of their group in company of Morocco, and they only got eliminated against Nigeria, who later turned out, Cameroon, who later became AFCON champion, and the competition was being played in Cameroon. So they lost by 1 goal only, so it was a 2-1 full-time score in Cameroon in front of the home crowd. And so Comoros, for an island of 2,000 square kilometers, 900,000 people, spread on a few islands, it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing what they're doing. And both Madagascar and especially Comoros, they are tapping on, before the interview we were talking about few opportunities, but trying to tap into every opportunity you have. And Comoros have been doing this. They've been doing a good structured formative years. They are tapping into their diaspora who are born in France and playing in France.
I was just going to ask you, what do you attribute those successful stories? And usually government sort of gets involved too. But let's take Madagascar, Comoros.
Yes.
The success you attribute it to what in particular? What are they doing that maybe Mauritius is not doing?
Okay.
Or something like
absolutely. I would say three things. That the top three things is indeed a government vision, and this takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. You have a government vision, you set up a plan, and you follow through. And you follow through over years. So detection of small kids, putting them in structures, getting professional help, because you don't always have the best coaches or the best professionals. Infrastructure. So that's the one pillar, is finding the talents and putting them in the right positions. Then Comoros, because of their, let's say, French connection, there are Comorians who are born in France, went through the professional structures in France, and are 17, 18, 20, 25 years old professionals in French clubs. And they are attracting them back. They are keeping tabs on them, checking where they are, establishing relationships, and encouraging them to come back to represent the Comoros. So they're tapping into their diaspora. And the third thing is what I would call friction against other teams. So they are investing, making sure that they compete against other teams, stronger teams, whether it is at club level or at national level. They participate in the Kosapa Cup when they can. They are now in the CAN. They organize friendlies against better ranked teams than them, and this just pushes the level up. So those would be, according to me, the three pillars of the Comorian success in the last years.
Somehow I have the feeling that you're going to be spending a lot more time in the Comoros because I hear you speak with such passion about the Comoros. Many years when we were in college, we had students that came there. I'm speaking. I give my age away now. If I say what about 4 decades ago, we had some students that came to Pretoria to study with us. Kevin, you've got quite a bit on your plate.
Yes.
We're hoping that you achieve all that you set out. But that's part of it. You need to spend more time in Cape Town.
I have to. I'm only getting good vibes from Cape Town, so I absolutely definitely want to come back.
The talent in Cape Town at the moment, we're just dealing with talent at grassroots level. But it's the one part. The next part, the next time you come to Cape Town, spend at least a week.
Yes.
And I don't live on this side of Cape Town. I live near the ocean in a place called Fisher.
Yes, there's a lot of good things.
Beautiful on that side. So if you are from Mauritius, you sort of have an idea. It's just that the weather is a little different. But we wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much.
Kevin, you and I'm hoping to see that you produce someone right at the top, maybe for the best clubs.
That's my hope as well.
And of course, hopefully, it can be from South Africa or from the Indian Ocean. We're African, proud to.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you very much for spending your time, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.